For over 11 years, a rebel force led by a religious fanatic named Joseph Kony has terrorized northern Uganda. Kony's Lord's Resistance Army has abducted 12,000 innocent children from remote villages. These children have just escaped from the Lord's Resistance Army. While fighting in the bush, most were forced to commit terrible atrocities. The Ugandan army who are fighting the rebels have brought them to Cusco, a rehabilitation center in the north. It is a safe haven where the children are allowed to be children again.
All these 6 people come from Gulu district. One was abducted last year in January. One was abducted in July last year. And 4 were abducted this year. We shall ask them to bathe, change their clothes, and then tomorrow we shall take them to the hospital for medical examination. Thereafter, we shall ask them to draw their experiences in the bush. And we shall use these drawings to start generating discussions to try to help them, cope with the realities we have gone through.
Children are ripped from their daily lives, kidnapped in the dead of night, in school, or simply on their way to the local store. Often their families are murdered, huts burned, and possessions looted. Forced to march without food to Sudan, they are given crude military training, brainwashed, and turned into vicious killers. The young girls are sexually abused and chosen as wives for the rebel commanders. At Cusco Rehabilitation Center, the children are fed, counseled, and nurtured back to health. It is here where their healing process begins. This man, Joseph Kony, is a deluded religious tyrant supported by Sudan. He uses young children as soldiers in an attempt to depose the existing Ugandan government. Kony trains the children in Sudan and then sends them back into Uganda to loot, kill, and terrorize. If the children try to escape, they are tortured and killed by new abductees. They are forced to murder their own families, friends, and relatives.
A child is registered, his file is open. Then from there now you begin getting closer to a child, conversing to a child. Then if a child now has confidence with you, a child will begin relating the experiences that he underwent. He began telling you some of the serious events that took place in his life from the bush.
They came at around, I should say, 7 to 7:30. The red surrounded the place. They didn't know. After that, they tied his waist with a rope. So one person was pulling him, and then they asked him to show a place where there is gumboot. Then they went and broke him. They collected clothes from there, and he was now carrying those things. Then they move again. They were just collecting things from the villages, ready. But they kept on abducting people. They kept on raiding. They got a certain man. They ordered him to get up. The man refused. Then they just killed the man. He was shot dead. That day they killed 2 people. That day when they killed the other man with a gun, the other one was just stepped on until he died. Where they spent the night near the center, they could even hear music being played. That's where he escaped. That he didn't like to stay there, but they were scaring them that if he escapes, they would go and burn all the houses from their home. That he doesn't like because they have been doing dirty things. And they give you those dirty things, I mean they give you people to kill. And yet for them, they just sit behind, they force you to kill. He was given a person to kill just using a hoe, just to beat with a hoe. The hoe that people use for digging.
They express what they feel in the form of drawings. And so it is from this that we use for generating discussions and see how we can help them come out of such problems. When somebody is newly abducted, they tie their waist and their hands behind them. And so they move them so that they don't run away. And this is how they sleep at night. A newly abducted child is supposed to be tied on the waist and then connected to a gun, then later to the one who has abducted him, so you can't run away even at night. This is a confrontation, a battle going on. They're on one side, there's a crossfire here. Also, it is a similar situation. This is a gunship fighting them. You can see the bombs or the bullets. And for them, they're down here, right here in the bush. And over here is how they cross rivers. They first tie a rope this side of the river, then another on this side of the river. Then this is now some of them crossing. You can see they're holding this rope. This boy has been tied hands behind him. Then this girl is carrying luggages. These are new abductees. Now they are going. It is a similar case here, as well as here. This is how they move. Somebody has been abducted, but maybe has tried to escape. This person has been killed. So normally when an abductee tries to escape, this is what they do to them.
If a child happens to escape and is caught, they may pick one of the abductees to kill in any way, either by stoning or by knifing. You just stab a child until the child is dead, or by cutting the private parts, cutting the nose, the ears, the lips, so that you also learn that escaping is bad. If you're caught, you can be killed.
You know, for the last 11 years, this crime against children has been going on, subduction of children. And the Lord Resistance Army leads an army of abducted children. And it is now feared that 90% of the Lord Resistance Army is composed of children. This abduction, even as I talk to you now, some children are being abducted. And the government apparently does not have the capacity to protect the children. Because this Lord Resistance Army, once they abduct the children, they take them to Sudan. And then they train them, and then they are able to come and penetrate deep inside you.
We have a lot of traumatized children. They come when the eye have been removed, cut into the middle. There's no more light. You cannot even see light perception. So we are removing them out. Perforation of the eyeball. Due to the trauma, they may just cut the eye like this and then the eye is perforated. So when they come, we have to do it. It is very nasty. You feel uncomfortable removing somebody's eye. It is very bad because you have to replace it with artificial eye. And we get vitamin A deficiency. They have stayed in the bush. They have not been eating green vegetables. They come when they are at night, just knocking themselves blind. So when they come here, the eye is almost damaged. So we have to give capsule vitamin A.
There was no food for him to eat. He was unable to walk, so they kicked him, he fell down and knocked one of his teeth. When in Sudan, they were trained as soldiers. He was sent with machine gun to go and fight the Dinkas. And the Dinkas were so tough that they could not be destroyed. So they had to face it, and then people lose their life. He was fighting, and then his hand was shot from there. And when he was shot, he ran away. It was hard for them to escape from Sudan, since you can easily die on the way because of anger and thirst. And therefore, he went back to the rebels. He said he feels like asking Kony and the group to come back home. But then, however much he convinces Kony will not accept. Because when they were there, he told them that he is not coming back. Because if they come back, the president of Uganda, Museveni, will kill them. They came in Uganda in February 1998. They were attacked by the UPDF. His legs were already swollen. And when the battle was going on, he just kept quiet there until the rebels ran away, and then the UPDF picked him. After that, they were brought to Cusco. Life here is very good, just simple. He likes playing football with other children, and he likes the company of easy mates. He wishes to go back to school, but then his place is really dangerous, and his parents are now too poor to pay him in school.
From the bush, they undergo various problems. There's a lot of severe beating out of nothing. They may decide to beat you 20 sticks, and for them, 20 sticks means you break a stick like this, you beat until it is broken, they still call it one stick. And also they tell you that at times they stay for 2 days without eating. They tell you that especially in Sudan, there's no water. So if you're sent to go and collect water, at times you die in the way with thirst. That you see children lying down, you may think they are resting, but you find that they are dead. And it is a must that those who are abducted or those who go to the bush are trained. So they are all here, they are child soldiers.
was abducted last year, January last year, and he has just escaped some 1 week ago.
This being not able to walk is caused by the long distance walking. It has caused damage to the tissues in the soles of the feet. These wounds become infected. There are septic wounds in the sole of his foot. I think if he is rehabilitated nutritionally, it will help in the restoration of the damaged tissues.
You observe a child, the day of the arrival of a child. You see how the child relates with the others. You go to the football pitch, you see how active the child is. You see how a child behaves. And if a child is completely withdrawn, you keep moving closer to that child, at least to find out what is happening with the child.
These children come to our center with a horrifying past. You know, as you talk to them through their testimonies, you find that the kind of experiences which they have gone through affects their mind. And the way they react to these situations depends on an individual child.
And then if a child is having constant nightmares, seeing images, we refer the child to the psychiatrist that is in Gulu Hospital.
They come when they are depressed. They come with multiple injuries, mainly due to bomb blasts and bullets. Many of them really, they come when they have lost hope in life. And sometimes if you don't talk to them carefully and slowly, they will not be able to tell you exactly what is wrong with them. They really need to be counseled and then handled with great care. It's really very sad. It's really very sad because these are young children who still need to be catered for well in order to grow into useful citizens. So it's really very sad when they get ruined at this early age. We really feel very sympathetic with them. And if there could be means really to end this kind of suffering, I think all the possible effort should be placed to help these children.
But for those who are more affected, the most common problems they have is nightmares, the regular daytime images, where sometimes they can see very tiny children peeping at them and then saying, kill now, instructing them to kill.
At times they are asked to kill only through knocking the head. Then after killing, they would ask you to remove the intestine and tie around your neck. At times they ask you to drink the blood of the person you have killed. At times even they ask you to smear your body with the blood of that person you have killed.
These kind of problems some of them takes time for a child to recover. So this reception center just only begins the process.
And now we have a girl who was abducted. She got pregnant from there, now she has given a birth. If you are asked who is the youngest abductees now, is that baby is now 8 days old.
She was in the bush for 1 year and 8 months. She got pregnant from the bush. She's happy because she's a baby girl, and last time she told me that if the baby was to be a baby boy, she would be sad because she would think that the baby would adapt the character of the father. Because in our talk we always converse with them, at least make them to understand it wasn't their mistake and the baby is innocent. Why must you hate the baby? And you didn't desire to go and remain in the bush. So it's constant talk with them, the social worker. Eventually now he finds she's relaxed, she's happy, she's loved. Everybody accepts her because she's a very bright girl.
Particularly for the girls, they suffer an additional experience as a child and as a girl child, where you find the girls are given to the rebel commanders, so-called wives, and gives to the rebel commanders to become sex slaves.
A young girl of 14 years was abducted from their village. In that same night, her headmaster was also abducted. She and another girl were forced to kill their own headmaster. And with, blood clotted in their hands, they were forced also to sit on the dead body and wait for lunch. And later on, they ate using their hands without washing it. And it was a terrible experience for the girl. And she couldn't help telling me that the man who taught her in class was the man whom she killed. I felt so bad, but I just had to bear with it. And later when the girl told me, I feel like committing suicide, and that is the only option. His father was killed, then he was left with a sister and a brother. Then now the sister fell sick and she has died. So that's why he has been crying and he feels depressed. And he feels he should go home and see the other boy left. And he's so depressed because the father was killed, the mother was killed, and then he was the only one now heading the family. Then he was also abducted. He's 16 years old.
As the children become a little bit stable, then we help them to think about their future plans. And those who are interested in going back to school, we assist them to re-enter primary school by providing them with scholastic materials and uniforms. But there are others who now feel that they cannot go back to school because having stayed for quite long, they cannot rejoin the normal primary school cycle. Those ones, we place them for skills training, so that at the end of it, when they complete successfully, we provide them with toolkits so that they can begin to earn a living and become useful members of their own community.
This is our skills training center, where we have children who are doing courses in building and in carpentry.
Our children were placed at various vocational centers, but from there, due to some difficulties, the majority dropped out. So I thought it wise to begin it at this center where it is easier to manage.
There are about 80 in numbers, and we have also the bricklayers. They are about 20. So far, they have taken about 2 months in their course. Right now, they are preparing pieces for making dust.
We don't call them traumatized. We call them our children. We don't use that word at all in the center. Traumatized, rebels, disturbed, we don't.
Some people have been forced to kill their very close relatives. There was a child here who was forced to kill both parents. Now, you find that there's about tension now within the family.
It is difficult for families and relatives to understand that these deeds are committed under gunpoint. The abductions and killings are tearing the society apart. Even if the shooting stops tomorrow, there will be a great need for reconciliation within families, clans, and other tribes in Uganda.
Now they have chosen what to become in their future. They chose to become tailors.
So we just start cutting paper, so later on we shall cut the real clothes.
So Gusco sponsors them a training in tailoring. Then after they are finished, then they are given their sewing machines to earn their living. So these ones who have completed tailoring course, now they have been given this job of making school uniforms for those who are going to primary schools. So because Gusco provides uniforms for these children, we found it useful to give our children who have completed this course a work and we pay them money.
Due to the fighting, the parents are displaced. There's no effective economic activity because farming has become too dangerous. Gusco contributes scholastic materials and school uniforms. However, if the children cannot afford to pay the extra tuition, they have to drop out of school.
Can say simplified, positive 2 plus positive 3. 5. Positive 5. You do a number line. Positive 2 plus negative 3. Add that one. In, out, in, out. I want you to let us
We stayed 1 year and 3 months in the bush. That they were 7, they were always kept under gunpoint because they thought they would escape. Always kept under gunpoint. They don't allow them even to go to the toilet. He wasn't sick, but was gunshot just. They call it splinter from the bomb. Is here, so he's feeling a lot of pain. He was also threatened that he must also kill, so that he must not escape. So they gave him a boy to kill, and then he did it. He was asked to buy net, just to keep on starving him, night until he dies. They would tie their hands and send them to go and beat and kill. No, don't. At times they give them pangas to go and cut into pieces. They are forced to kill in a group that he participated. They are over 10. But they keep on crying that you're killing me for nothing. I have done nothing. Then after that, he started seeing images of those people coming. He would feel dizzy and he would lie down. So they would scare him that if you keep on behaving like that, we shall kill you. Then he has to force himself and cope up with the situation. But his conscience tell him that he's too young to do those things. He was forced to do it.
And then we say, look, and under no circumstances you will not do the things which you have done. So we stress forgiveness, stress reconciliation, and stress expression of love among the children.
But for me, is enjoying the life, although sometimes some big boys who are here can disturb the young ones, and that makes him remind of the suffering he underwent when he was captured. But he likes football so much, and always in the morning he just comes straight away to the field to do the exercise.
Find they still have that very strong spirit of revenge. And then some of these children are also going to tell their parents that, look, so-and-so son was the one who killed my brother. It also happened here one time when we were going to play football. Two children were just walking. Then the other one was coming in the opposite direction. Now this one started whispering that, do you know that boy? He said, no, that's the boy whom you killed the brother. And the other one overheard and started weeping. So when they came to us, we sat down, we talked to them for 2 hours. Actually, in the end, we discovered that even this one who was weeping, who felt offended, also was forced to kill someone in the bush. So in the end, when we brought this issue, said, look, supposing also the relatives of those people come, now how are you going to look at it? Then they understood it, either they stayed, they now play together, and even there's no problem.
Boys, children from outside who have also come to integrate with them, so that wherever they live here, they don't get difficulties in relating with other children from outside.
And we have activities like traditional dances and music. And we have activities like disco, video show. At least from morning up to sunset, we don't leave them alone.
Even the children who have fought for Kony are unclear of what his objectives are. He says he wants to rule Uganda. However, over the last 11 years, he has not even attempted to take a town. He is an Acholi person killing his own people. Kony claims to be doing the work of the Holy Spirit. His doctrine is a combination of Christian ideology and Acholi traditional religion. He alleges to be committed to establishing a government based on the 10 Commandments. If a person is caught riding a bicycle, their feet and hands are cut off. That is because on a bicycle, a person could quickly reach an army detach. Rebels cut off people's lips so they cannot tell their plans to the enemy. they cut off civilians' ears so they cannot hear their secrets. Civilians who do not support their cause are frequently murdered or brutally tortured. This young girl's hands were burned in a fire to punish her parents.
Using children in war should become a war crime, so that even if you shoot your way to power, but if behind it you have used children, that government should legitimate, so that at least that's the only way we're going to protect children in Africa. It has happened in Uganda, it's happened in Rwanda, in Zaire, now in Congo, in Liberia, in Sudan, and so forth. Children are being used. So that's the only way we are going to protect the children of Africa. Because otherwise, our children have no future.
I want them to see the value of their hands when they're running. So now they're not going to use their hands, and I want to see them to see their speed.
So the auntie sent him to go to the village to collect some food stuff. So the uncle stopped him that the security is not good enough for you to go back this evening because the rebels are near. He went back inside and slept. At around 2 a.m. in the night, these people came. Then the person was killed. There were some troops yet behind following them, so they caught the boy, they brought, and then he participated in killing them. They just kept on stepping on him. Then after some time, they started beating. They stepped on him for a long time, he couldn't die. Then they just killed him using bayonet. So when they came back from Madi, they came and found that the lion had eaten the dead body. They were saying, if he's crying, either should hang him or a rope must be tied here so that he should not cry till after. That one of his brothers died because of hunger. And he never saw him again. That at times now when they sent him to go and fetch some water, he would cry for his brother. But when he returns from the well, he would just keep quiet, but deep within he would be feeling that pain. He would be weeping internally. At times you feel bad, at times you feel like crying, but if you cry at times, it is you to be killed. But he just controlled. He thinks that if they don't do traditional cleansing, he may not live a happy person or a healthy person. Moreover, he is forced to do all those things. So at times he feels bad. You know, he has sad stories. The father is not there, the mother is not there. It's just that. So he has painful stories. But first, when I just started, I would also feel, and if a child is weeping, I would also weep. But because from here there is constant workshop, training for us, with time I was able to control my emotion. Though at times, if I go back home also, I dream at night what
the story that maybe when we are conversing with a child might have told me. At times I also dream that I was abducted. At times I also dream that some people wanted to kill me. So it is not easy.
From the testimony of the children, Sudan is the godfather of the Lord Resistance Army. They are the war army them to take. So they strongly believe that if there was a way Sudan being convinced to stop supplying them with arms, at least even the option of dialogue, the Lord Resistance can accept. If it is not done like that, then many children in Africa are not going to have a future.
The north of Uganda is isolated from the thriving center. Museveni, the president of Uganda, doesn't seem to be fighting the rebels. The people of southern Uganda have a deep historic conflict with the Acholi people. Museveni is reluctant to send his mainly Bugandan army into dangerous areas to protect the tribe who were previously the enemy. And so Kony's rampage remains unopposed.
While in captivity, in a battle, the bullets shot him on the leg, and he's still under medical treatment, but he's healing so slowly. Fear it might have got the bones.
In our culture, if a child stayed outside for more than 1 year, we have a ceremony to welcome a child home. So they sprinkle water on him so that all the misfortune goes away and he should be happy throughout his life. And now this child has stayed for so long. His leg has taken already almost 3 months without getting ill. We have taken the child to the hospital. There is nothing yet, no improvement. So the parents thought wise at least to come so that they do some traditional cleansing since the child was out for a number of months. That you have seen now, the wound does not want to get healed. What is happening? The father blessed him with water to welcome him home. The water was in a cup, and then grass sprinkled the water on the child. And then also they came and poured water in front of the doors. The child passed through the water when it was dropping up to wish him good blessing and to welcome him back at home. That is very pleased. He's very happy. Then I asked him, now you're not showing it out. Then he said, that is his character, but he's very happy.
For some of the children, maybe who are frequently being attacked by the evil spirits. There was a case in point whereby a little girl, she was about to go home, but suddenly the evil spirit started attacking her. She started brought a very serious problem. And that's an experience which has touched me, because each time the spirit attacks the girl, I would try to call the girl by the name, she would not answer. But when I called the girl by the name of the spirit, it would begin to talk through the girl, and I was pleading, and gave us, we have needed a God and other things that if you want to leave the girl. And I couldn't really believe what was happening. And whenever the girl was being attacked by the spirit, you hear from the chest that whisking sound. That whisking sound as if she has a lot of coughs, and she would complain of pain in the chest. But when the spirit leaves, the girl would be normal. And we even taped the voice of the spirit when the girl was talking and so forth. So that is when I said, well, maybe let us be open to the belief of the child.
One meter that don't young The water which had remained was poured on the ground. The cock was slaughtered before the boy. The blood was made the floor. The feces was put around the heart for purification.
They have given us as a gift.
Any madaho? A hen.
And you can see that the child has really come back and fitted in the family. And you see the joy that the parents had. Oh, this is also one of our dear child. Now, it's now 4 months at home. This is one of our children also. Parents keep on coming. Some come and find their children here.
Well, we have been running this project for the last 13 months. 1,031 children have been referred to this center. And we have reunited over 800 with their families.
There's a boy here whose parents almost rejected him. When the parents heard that the child has done a lot of killing, bad things, burning vehicles, they would just come and say, let the child first remain here, you now keep my child. And the child also felt bad. The child was aware that the parents really didn't want him.
The ultimate goal of rehabilitation is to reunite the abducted children with their families. This has proven to be difficult in many cases. A small percentage of the parents do not understand why the children have murdered, and they do not want their children back. Others can't afford to support and feed the children. The majority do accept without questioning. They welcome their children back with open arms.
I feel sad because he was already part of our family. It's a mixed feeling because now I'm happy that the mother has also come, and at least we see his future to be bright.
There's a lot of hope because when we look at the children, the way their parents accept them back, it means therefore that there's some hope that these children can yet be accepted back. And again, there's no single family where no child has been abducted.